Alright, what's going on everybody? My name is Juby Scott and welcome back to another Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2 video. Today we're going to be talking about something I usually don't talk about on this channel that much. And honestly, it's because I don't play it as much. But I did do a tier list video on the PvE side of the game, so I want to go in and check on the PvP side of the game. Before we get started on that tier list, first of all, thank you for your feedback on the last video. I see not a lot of people disagreed, except for one certain class that I will try to do my best with this one to better represent it in PvP. But with that out of the way, we are going to be jumping into the player versus player mode in Space Marine 2. Now, like I said, I prefer the Horde shooter, the Horde mode types of video games, but I just love this game so much that I did try the PvP out, and I do thoroughly enjoy this PvP. I clearly don't have as many hours in it as the PvE, but I do thoroughly enjoy jumping into it for every now and then. And because I made a PvE one, I wanted to make a PvP one as well, and give you my opinions on these classes. Before we get started, I just wanted to leave a disclaimer right now that this is my opinion, these are not facts. I'm definitely not as confident in the PvPs as the PvE, but I still want to give my opinion out there for the people who listen and enjoyed my last video. With that being said, I will look into what I have for PvP and see what I can do. I did some research, I got some other opinions, and I got some feedback and looked at the patch notes for the PvP before jumping into this video. With all that out of the way, I hope you guys sit back, relax, and enjoy this tier list video. And if you disagree with any of my choices, that's completely fine. Go ahead and comment down below on what you think should be S, A, B, C, D, and F tier as well. I love hearing different opinions when it comes to this game, as it seems we all enjoy this game, and I love hearing different opinions from you guys. With all that out of the way, let's get started. Tactical. Tactical is the perfect soldier class in my opinion, honestly. Tactical has a wide range of weapons, has 3 bars of armor, and can hold its own in any fighting scenario. Since you are like the standard normal Space Marine Astartes, you are pretty well equipped for almost all situations. Having your chainsword, your bolt pistol, and one of the multiple primaries that you can have, as well as your Auspex scan. And your Auspex scan for Tactical in PvP is nuts. If you get caught with that, honestly, the best thing to do is to run away. Unless you're on a point, then you fight like hell or try to take cover to minimize the amount of damage you're going to take. Tactical's Auspex scan can literally move people off a point if they're trying to stay alive, or they will be quickly killed by an assault diving on them, or a Bulwark sneaking up on them and slashing them in the back, or a sniper using a last fusil taking one headshot and hitting them. Tactical is great for all the other classes as a great support class, as well as leading the charge onto a point. That Auspex scan is honestly insane, and it's insane how fast you die when you get tagged by that. And it's insane how fast you kill when you tag your enemies with that. And it's just fucking awesome. I got multiple kills using the Auspex scan, and it really does put the fear of God in you when you get tagged and you see how fast your health and armor melts. I believe Tactical is a fantastic class, an all-around great one. If you're just starting PvP, I feel like Tactical is the perfect way to go. But everyone also knows that Tactical is good as well, so good luck trying to get it, as they only allow 2 of each class on your team. Tactical is easily an S tier in my opinion. It works for all scenarios. You have your chainsword as your melee for close range, and you have the Auspex scan, which, like I said, can melt enemies really quickly. Assault. Assault, for me personally, is a struggle. Assault to me is easy to play, hard to master, personally. You have your jump pack, obviously, but you have 3 charges of your jump pack. Not only that, your jump pack works like it does in the campaign. And in the campaign, you are allowed to jump really high. You are allowed to hover in the air. You can then charge your slam up and then slam down on the enemies, doing massive amounts of damage. And like I said earlier, if they're Auspex scan tagged, oh, it's all over. That's a free kill for you. Assault coming in with the Thunder Hammer, which I swear seems to 2-shot people in melee range, as well as the Heavy Bolt Pistol. Now, there is some tricks out there that you could use, and you'd have to level up to get it first, obviously. But if you can get the Melt-A-Bomb, one strategy or tactic I learned while doing my research is, if you get the Melt-A-Bomb, and you can jump in there, drop the Melt-A-Bomb, jump back out, activate the Melt-A-Bomb, and get so many kills, and you still have another jump to either get away or get any of the stragglers. causing total chaos on a point, essentially. From my personal playthrough as Assault, I struggle really hard, but I'm not going to let that get away from what I see the potential of this class is. Like I said, if you can put the time and effort into it, Assault is actually insane for me personally. I would put it in S tier because of the strats people have been coming up with, but since I'm going off of my experience, I'm going to go ahead and put it in A tier. But if you love Assault and you do good, do not worry, you could easily put this in S tier, but me personally, it's an A tier just because it's not my class. That's all, no harm done. Vanguard, my main in PvE, is unfortunately not my main in PvP. The Vanguard class, honestly, I don't think is that good at all. The Vanguard class has its grappling hook, and the difference between this and in PvE is that the grappling hook can actually grapple against walls. You'll launch yourself onto the wall, and you'll sit there for about half a second and then drop down. It's good to get to places quicker, but honestly, because of the dropping down animation, I don't feel like you get anywhere quicker than the people who are just running. I feel like my teammates can keep up with me pretty easily. But the biggest reason you want this grappling hook is because when you grapple someone, it can actually stun them and pull you in. You do a massive dive kick that does a good amount of damage for melee, and now you're in melee range with your knife, being able to start hacking and slashing against them. If you go against an enemy that doesn't know how to block or parry your attacks, you will literally melt them to death. Now, if you go against someone who can actually block and parry, it will obviously take longer, allowing their teammates to come help them, or allowing your team to come in and assist you. Unfortunately, Vanguard actually did get nerfed in patch 3.0. I know we're on patch 6.0, but it did get nerfed in patch 3.0, and I felt the issues with that replaying PvP trying to get this footage. Because of patch 3.0's nerf, it actually removed the stun on the grappling to the enemy, which allows them the second they get dive kicked to start attacking you immediately, reducing their one-on-one capabilities and essentially making the grappling hook useless. And it's such a shame because I didn't think it was too bad when I first played the PvP when the game first came out. Unfortunately, with that being said, Vanguard sucks in PvP, I'm gonna be 100% honest. Now, it does still have some good weapons. The Instigator and the Oculus are still decent choices for weapons, and the Melt-A-Gun, of course. But it's not enough to save it for me personally. And as a PvE Vanguard main, it hurts me to say this, but for me, Vanguard is D tier. I think the nerf was way too harsh, and they really need to do something to fix this. Unfortunately, my boy Vanguard is useless to me in PvP. Bulwark. Oh, I love Bulwark. I really do. I love it in PvE, and I love it in PvP. And this class works essentially the same in both scenarios, minus the healing contested health. Bulwark obviously does what it does best. It's a melee tank class. It is able to block bullets coming at you, including plasmas and meltas. Now, if you get flanked, which you can very easily be flanked, the shield will not help you one bit, obviously. But if you're able to keep the shield in front of you while a heavy is shooting you down, they will not hurt you. But if you're getting shot at a lot, it will slow down your movement from running to a walk. It's very menacing to see on the other side, especially as a heavy who cannot really fight you in melee. Once you get up close and personal, you're gonna want to be really good with your melee ability, with your parrying and blocking, as that's gonna make the difference between being a good Bulwark and a great Bulwark player for your team. Another strat I've seen a lot of people do is once they get on the point on their side and the enemy team starts coming over, drop your banner down immediately, as those extra moments of armor can make or break the difference between your teammates having armor and winning the fight versus their teammates having armor and winning the fight. And what I've usually done actually is if we're going for a contested point, I will try to get kind of in front of my teammates, just kind of, not to block their bullets, and try to take up the firing from the enemy team against them on me because my shield can block it, allowing them to try to focus on me while my teammates slowly drain their armor and health. Bulwark is a fantastic class in this mode, and I absolutely love it to death. While its range is very limited, for example, an assault is going to be able to slam you down pretty easily, Your melee is not to be messed with. Your chapter banner is very useful to your team. You're a great support class for your team. I would easily give Bulwark A tier for PvP. Just the supporting of your fellow teammates alone, plus your fantastic melee, especially if you're good against other players with the melee, you will be a crucial role to your team winning the fight. All right, let's get the one out of the way that a lot of people disagreed with me, and I will try my best. I hope. Sniper. Sniper for me is useful in PvP. While I don't like that if you're playing modes like Contested, or if you're playing anything that's not Annihilation where it has multiple objectives or capturing and holding areas, Sniper is good at making these people stay off the point, not get on it and contest it. A lot of the maps, all 4 of them, allow areas where Sniper can get a high advantage to shoot down at the enemies coming through a main way. For example, the chapel, the librarian area alone, the stairways are great sniping spots, but be aware, you're probably going to be fighting other snipers with it. The Last Fusil is a very powerful weapon and can one-shot anyone with 2 armors. Unfortunately, you need to make the headshot to get that, which can be a struggle against actual players, especially if you miss your first shot, they're going to start sporadically moving around. The bolt sniper rifle, I feel, is definitely weaker, obviously, but it does do its job, but it takes about 3 shots to get a kill when it comes to that. The cloaking ability is also fantastic, obviously. This is allowing you to get some quick flanks, and if you run the bolt carbine, you'll actually be able to sneak up on them and empty an entire magazine into them before they realize where the hell you are. And of course you have your knife as well for those close melee combat. While I suck with Sniper in PvP, I'll be 100% honest, I do see the awesome potential for this class, and when it comes to PvP, I want to give Sniper A tier. I believe it's fantastic when it comes to that. The only reason I wouldn't give it S is essentially you really need to make those shots. So if you can actually make these shots and be really good at it, then this is easily an S tier for you, because you're going to be keeping these enemies off the point while your team is racking up the points to win the match. And now, last but not least, and because of what you heard me say about Vanguard, Heavy is actually my main in PvP, and I love it. I absolutely love Heavy in PvP, and I can't wait for Heavy to be my main when Horde mode comes out in PvE. Heavy has the Iron Halo for PvP, but it is weaker than it is in PvE, and there's no perks in PvP, so you don't get to have like abilities like it does damage if there's any enemies near you, or anything of that sort. But it will block enough shots that can make the difference between you and a tactical fighting, or if you're fighting another Heavy, basically who breaks their shield first, or who gets reinforcements first is going to determine the fight. I love the Heavy bolter in the PvP, but it is clear that the Plasma Incinerator, which you don't get unless you're a pretty decently high level for Heavy, is the way to go for this class. The Heavy Plasma Incinerator does so much damage when it comes to that it's really something you would want to work for that class, and then you would want to basically run that. Keep the Heavy bolter for the PvE, honestly. Heavy is great when it comes to working with other classes as well. In fact, my buddy Geist and I will actually run double Heavies, and we can hold a point. Assaults will get in the air, and you'll just see 2 people with Heavy bolters knocking them down before they land, because a lot of assaults like to hold their charge fully. Or we'll simply use each other's Iron Halo, and once mine goes out, he'll activate his, and I'll back up, giving us basically a double-length Iron Halo against a single Heavy using his 1 Iron Halo. Duo Heavies is a fantastic thing to do with your team, especially holding a point. It's awesome. While you are severely lacking in the melee capabilities, I do believe that Heavy is definitely up there as one of the best classes. Unfortunately, with the lack of melee and relying on basically your gun bashes and your stomps, it does hinder the class a little bit. That's your main weakness. You would not want to have a Bulwark right on your ass, as you are not going to win that melee fight. I'm sorry, as much as I wish you would. Or an assault with a Thunder Hammer. You're definitely not going to win that, even with all your armor. With that being said, I do believe Heavy is a fantastic class, and I'm going to keep using it as much as I love it, and I'm going to give it a solid A tier for PvP. But yeah, with that being said, these are the rankings I have for this class. I hope I did a good job, and To all you sniper fans, I really hope I didn't piss you guys off too much in the last video. That was not my intentions at all. Like I said, it was the class that I least played, and that goes for PvP as well. But you were the main inspiration for me to dig into this before I made this video and this recording, and make sure I kind of know what I'm talking about before I do it. But anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this, please go ahead and leave a like, comment on what you think. Am I completely wrong? Am I completely right? As much as I love Vanguard, it still has good primary, so that's why I don't give it F tier, and I really hope they revert the changes when it comes to that. I mean, if they're gonna allow shock grenades to act like flashbangs and basically flash me every 2 fucking seconds, then I think Vanguard stunning me shortly while he comes up to me should be perfectly fine. Speaking of that focus, can we please calm down with the shock grenade flashbangs? I feel like I'm playing fucking old CSGO, dude. My entire monitor just goes white every 2 fucking seconds because everybody's running the shock grenade because it's so much better than the frag grenade. Stunning, damage, slows you down, damage, and blinds whoever you threw it at. It's insane. If anything should get nerfed, I believe it should be the stun grenade. Just remove the flash, and if you really want a flashbang or something, add it in as a separate weapon, I guess. I don't know. I really hate stun grenades. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Subscribe if you want to stay with me, and I will see you all next week.